Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My father was never insecure around a woman's strength, not around education, not around intelligence, not around ambition, not around independence, because insecurity does not grow in a heart that is anchored in faith. From the very beginning, education in our home was never discussed as a favor. It was never presented as permission, it was treated as right. He gave us full education, completely, wholeheartedly. There was no hesitation in his voice, no anxiety in his decisions, no fear hidden behind advice. He never said enough now. He never said this is too much. He never said be careful. For him, knowledge was not danger, knowledge was light. Later, much later, when I read about women being denied education, about daughters being restricted, about brilliance being silenced, I realize something quietly painful. What was denied to many women had been given to me naturally, not as charity, as respect. After my 10th standard, something happened that still lives inside me. I taught Urdu language in entire state of Maharashtra. At that age, I did not fully understand the magnitude of it, but I understood his happiness. I understood the way his face changed. I understand the way pride softened him. I understood the way joy lived openly in him without fear. He was not quietly proud, he was freely proud. There were prizes, there were gifts, there were congratulations. But what mattered more than all of that was what did not follow. There were no warnings, no restrictions, no sudden tightening of rules, no sentence that began with now that you have succeeded. He did not pull me back. He did not become cautious. He did not become afraid of my growth. He simply smiled. One day, just once, I expressed a wish. I did not argue. I did not insist. I did not repeat it. And that one saying, he bought me a bike. No delay, no negotiation, no second thought, only happiness. That bike was not just a vehicle, it was movement, it was trust, it was belief made visible. It was my father saying, without words, you can move in the world and I'm not afraid. He rode me. He rode my siblings. He rode my mother. He made it a family moment. He made it joy, not permission. That bike carried laughter, it carried pride, it carried togetherness, and something inside me softened, something inside me opened. I became sensitive to my father in that moment, sensitive to how deeply he trusted me, sensitive to how easily he gave me, sensitive to how confidently he stood behind me without standing over me, and quietly inside my heart a promise formed. I must fulfill his dreams as a daughter, not because he demanded it, not because he expected repayment, but because he trust deserved honor. That moment taught me something essential. A father who gives his daughter freedom does not lose authority, he gains legacy. A father who trusts does not weaken his role, he strengthens his child. My father never restricted us. He prepared us. He taught us to stand with justice, not with anger, not with ego, but with clarity. He explained haq as responsibility. He explained courage as moral steadiness. He taught us to recognize injustice and not remain silent before it. This teaching shaped my spine. He taught us faith not as fear but as strength. He explained Iman as grounding. He explained destiny, Khadr, as trust. He told us that both good and bad destiny come from Allah. This belief did not weaken us, it made us resilient. My father was a man of prayer. 5 times a day he stood before Allah, not hurried, not careless, not distracted, often He stood in the first row, not to be seen, but because he believed that if you are present, you must be fully present. Watching him pray taught me something early. Safety begins when a person knows where they stand before Allah. He carried that calm into everything else. He was a polite speaker, never sharp, never humiliating, never careless with words. Even disagreement came from him without insult, and almost always there was a smile on his face, not a performative smile, a subtle one. That kind tells you this person is not at war with world. I watched him serve his own father for 10 long years of illness, every day, with care, with patience. Never once did I hear resentment, never once did I see irritation. I saw khidmat, that was transactional service as worship, and somewhere inside me a quiet assurance formed. If I if love could endure like this, then life could be trusted. By the grace of Allah, he became a source of opportunity for others. He guided people, many people, towards government jobs. He explained processes patiently. He encouraged them when they doubted themselves. Many livelihoods were shaped quietly through him, and he never announced it. He never counted favors. He never reminded anyone of what he had done. For him, benefiting others was not generosity, it was duty. He was deeply selfless. He wanted others to be benefited by him, even strangers, even outsiders. He would guide people to good land to buy, thinking ahead of their future, hoping they would prosper, not for gain, not for recognition, just so someone's tomorrow would be better. He gave free coaching, free teaching. He worked in schools with sincerity of heart, not for position, not for applause. He taught children as if the nation itself was sitting in front of him. Teaching was not employment to him, it was a manner. Even when he was busy, and he was always busy, he chose to remain useful. He kept himself occupied, not to escape others, but to serve more. Busyness never made him inaccessible, fatigue never made him unkind. At home, he was the same man, gentle with daughters, careful with sons, soft hearted, emotionally present. He never made me feel that being a daughter was fragile. He never made me feel that my voice needed permission. He trusted me, and trust given early becomes courage. He gave us time, not leftover time, not distracted time. His company, conversation that stayed, guidance that came gently, ordinary moments that later became priceless. He was a systematic man. He respected time. He organized his life, but his discipline was never harsh. Order in his life created calm in ours. We always knew where we stood. We always felt secure. His structure was not control, it was care. He treated us like flowers, not fragile ornaments, living beings. He did not force growth, he did not rush seasons. He was a gardener. He watered with patience, he protected from storms, he allowed sunlight, he waited, and because he waited, we grew. Later, when I encountered feminism, when I read about patriarchy, about power and control, I realized something important. What books explained in language my father had already lived in action. A man secure in faith does not fear women. A man confident in himself does not compete with his daughter. A good father does not cage strength, he cultivates it. Today, my father is not physically present, but his trust walks with me. When I stand firm, it is because he never asked me to bend. When I speak clearly, it is because he never quieted my voice. When I move through the world with confidence, it is because once a long time ago he gave me wheels and smiled. This episode is for daughters who were trusted before they were tested, and for fathers who need to hear this truth. Women's strength is not created in opposition to fathers, it is created because of them. In the next episode, I'll speak about what a good man truly looks like, not as an idea, but as lived realities.